So I'm doing an impromptu video on what I'm making for supper. So I am going to make some apple crisp, homemade apple crisp, and we're going to do a homemade chicken pot pie. So tag along if you want. First of all, got my handy dandy apple core peeler slicer. So I'm going to fasten it on the counter. Got some apples from the in-laws. Yay! And I am going to do about 8 of them. Put them in a glass 8x8 dish. And then I'll show you the next step. Then I just kind of cut them in half. Toss them in my dish. Then what I do is I just sprinkle a little sugar, quarter cup, third cup, your choice. And then I literally sprinkle Next, what I did was I partially melted 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And this is old-fashioned rolled oats, not the quick ones. And I just I usually just eyeball about a cup, roughly. Going to throw some about 2 tablespoons of flour in there. And you can put more cinnamon in here. You could put chopped walnuts, chopped pecans, whatever tickles your fancy. But that's how it should look. Crumbly. Put it into a 375-degree oven until the top is as crispy as you prefer. I like mine a little more crispy, crunchy on top. And the apples will cook down a lot. This looks like a lot of apples, but it's not. Once it cooks down, it's a lot. It's less. And I put it in a 375-degree oven because I'm usually making it on a night that I'm using the oven anyway. And like tonight, I'm using some crescent rolls, and they need the oven to be at 375 so I can bake them at the same time. Alright, so we're making chicken pot pie. We have some leftover beer can chicken from this weekend. It's a Monday. This is from Saturday night. Carrots from our garden that I froze. Peas that are store-bought because our peas went bad while we were on vacation. Corn from our in-laws, my in-laws, Andy's parents, last year. Butter, bunch of onions from our garden, green beans from our garden, mushrooms, flour. Oh, and the crescent rolls, the can of crescent rolls. So I just pinched the lines like this after I laid it out flat. And with this method, I'm actually not going to bake it like you do usually pot pie, but I'll show you what I'll do with it. So first I'm going to throw these in with the apple crisp so that I guess I should say, so that it can cook. I turned this pan on, and what I'm going to do initially, just throw a little olive oil in there. And I think I forgot to mention, but I have 2 cloves of garlic that I'm going to throw in there. And then I'll start putting my vegetables in. I wish you could smell this right now. It's fantastic. Alright, so as an example, this is all I'm going to do through my carrots. Some of them might get cut down, some might not. But that's okay, because we eat it anyway. I'm just trying to make it easier to hide some of the vegetables in there, if you know what I mean, for some of the kids. So, and then I'll just do something like that with the green beans. The one thing I will tell you is I am pretty precise with my chicken when I cut it up. Let's see if I can do this one-handed, but I try to make sure it's in some smaller pieces, even though I like when my pot pie and soup and stuff are chunkier. I try to make sure that the chicken is in some smaller bits, as you can see. It just makes it go further, I should say. Not faster, but further. Makes the chicken go further. So I realize one thing you might be wondering is why I cook the vegetables a little bit ahead of time. It's to get a lot of the extra moisture in there from being frozen, because that's not the type of moisture I want in my pot pie mixture. If it is too wet, it's not going to be the consistency that I want, and I want to be able to control that. So sometimes I don't cook the vegetables ahead of time before I make like my pot pie base, but if I have a lot of frozen vegetables, I will, and then I'll just remove them and then make my base, which you'll see in a minute. So it's just about where I want it to be before I start making my base, and then I'll just put it in a different dish for right now. So my crescent is just how I want it. Let's check on the apple crisp. That is almost ready. That's probably been in there for 20 minutes. I should also say, while I'm at it, before I take my vegetables out of the pan, I have not put my chicken in yet because it's not frozen. I put that in after I start my base, then I put the chicken in, and then I put the vegetables in. I will also say this recipe is really great because you can leave out whatever vegetables you don't. If you don't like cooked carrots in there, leave them out. If you don't want your corn in there, leave it out. Mushrooms, whatever you don't want in there, you don't have to put in. And that's one of the flexible things about most of the recipes that I do. And if you've noticed so far with the apple crisp, I don't really have recipes. I'll try and come up with the best that I can and put it in the description box below. And you can go with the flow. Alright, so I got my vegetables out of the pan, and now I'm going to throw in 3 tablespoons of butter and let those melt. And then I'm going to throw in roughly 1/4 cup flour. You can use whatever flour you prefer. I have used regular all-purpose flour. I've also used whole wheat flour. That makes it look really brown and gross. But what you want to do is to get it to look like this, so it's a good thickener. And then start pouring in chicken stock. I have about 3 cups set aside, but I just poured in about half of it so that this can get a nice thick base going. And you notice how quick the roux at the bottom is starting to soak up the liquid. So now I'll go ahead and throw in the rest. So this is what mine looks like this time because I added so many vegetables on purpose, just because we love vegetables.
How about that?
And you can salt and pepper to taste, depending upon what kind of broth or stock that you use. And then these are the 2 variety of ways that I serve them. This is my older daughter's portion, and I just kind of stick it on the side, or you can just lay it on top, however you want to serve it if you want to get fancy. My husband and I have a bigger portion, obviously, and that's just how I do it. Just a second. And then the apple crisp is ready. Just in time to cool off enough for when we're done eating our apple pie. And then this is just how we do it in our house. Well, ice cream. Sometimes I make homemade whipped cream. And if you're interested in the homemade whipped cream recipe, let me know. But that is dinner tonight. And I would just like to finish this video with the fact that I don't make dessert every night. Maybe once or twice a week, but today just felt like a good fall day, so I wanted to do that. And I'm sorry about the lighting and how I look. It's hot in my kitchen, and I just got done making supper. But if you enjoyed this recipe video, let me know with a thumbs up. And we'll see you around for the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.